The Simple Hoop boys are back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Rocky.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we are going to be breaking down the top 10 shooting guards.
Yes, sir.
Now listen, I know we say it every time. We said it in the point guard list. It's a tough one. It is so tough in this league to figure out who even plays shooting guard.
Yes.
Because we live in an era where everyone plays the same exact position.
Positionless basketball, folks.
AKA, everyone plays small forward at
And
some point.
And we'll probably say this throughout every other position ranking we do. This is the hardest list.
This is the toughest one by far, and it's going to keep going that way until probably centers. I think centers will be easy.
Centers will be.
But we get our positions by 2K.
2K.
So if you have any disagreements of, whoa, Jaylen Brown played more minutes as small forward.
Bring it up with Ronnie.
Bring it up with Ronnie. Ryan, let's break down our honorable mentions, buddy.
So my honorable
Let's get
mentions
straight in.
are, I have a few ones that might be a little surprising to you.
Yeah.
Got Jordan Poole, former Warrior.
Nice. I like
Tyrese Maxey, love him, wanted him on the list.
Of course.
Couldn't get him. Tyler Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And Klay Thompson.
That is tough. But you know what is crazier?
What's that?
I have the exact same crew.
You don't have Klay in your top 10?
Klay Thompson has unfortunately fallen out of the rotation for me. I love Klay Thompson. The only reason is because he's just not the guy he used to be.
Yeah.
The 2 ACL tears have gotten to him. He's lost that little pep in his step.
And that's where it went with me, too.
I think he averaged 18 or 20.
Yeah.
Was it around that
Right
area?
around.
So it wasn't like as much as some of these guys. Because there's guys on my honorable mentions, like you mentioned, Tyler Hero. Even Jalen Green, who's probably like 16 on the shooting guard list.
Yep.
Both averaged more than Klay Thompson. And obviously it's not all points in the day, but he lost his defense as well.
I agree.
I have Klay just at 11, unfortunately. Tyrese Maxey, I love him. He is
good player.
A bright future in Philly. He definitely has the potential to fill in a void missing when Harden possibly inevitably leaves another team.
Yep. He's going to be that star for them.
One guy that I don't think you mentioned, Anthony Simons.
Yep, he's also on my honorable mentions.
Now, going into this, wanted Anthony Simons so much. I love him in Portland. And
love him in 2K.
Oh, yeah. Crazy dunker in 2K, by the way. Just for you guys who are freaks like us.
Yeah.
But anyways, Anthony Simons had such a good year. Not this year, but... You know, like the freaks comment?
Man called us a freak, bro. Man called us a freak and kept moving. Man didn't even say 2K freaks. He said if you're just freaks like us. My fault. And then I had to look at you while you were talking. I couldn't hold it.
I was chill,
bro. I couldn't hold it.
But no, Anthony Simons is someone I want on my list so bad because not this past year, but the year before, he had such a great season.
Without Dame.
Yeah, Dame was out for the majority of the season. He dominates and shows that he could be a really good 1 or 2 for the Portland Trailblazers for their future without Dame.
Him and Scoot.
But he fell back a little this year, being behind Dame in a historic year for Dame, obviously. So, that's off the list. But, Ryan, give me your number 10.
At number 10, I have Bradley Beal.
Ooh, tough. Now, at number 10 for me, I have Desmond Bane.
Ooh.
I know it. I know you're a Desmond Bane lover.
I do love me some Desmond Bane. And Bradley Beal has taken a step back. And he's not scoring his 30 points a game. And I know it's not all about scoring points. But with as little defense as he plays, you need something from him. And he had a good year. But I think there's just better shooting guards that have had better years.
He's a big liability on defense.
Yeah.
He's getting up there in age. Well, not too much. He's probably 31, 32.
Yeah, around that age.
He went from, surprisingly, 30 points per game a couple years ago to now 23 points per game.
Which is impressive, but in today's NBA, with how much scoring there is, I just expected more from Bradley.
And it is surprising because he did it, 2 years ago. Yeah. But then this year, when scoring went up massively, he didn't really do anything. Now he had two guys beside him who took a lot of scoring from him. Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma, obviously. But he could have led this team to a potential play-in spot, and he did it.
Play-in.
Once again. And, always suffering with injury issues, only playing 50 games.
50 games.
So, I definitely think Bradley Beal is someone that's not high on my list either. But I put him higher than Desmond Bane.
Tell me about Desmond.
Now, Desmond Bane is an interesting player. I really like him.
Yeah.
And I think that he has a bright future. I mean, he better with the bag he got a couple days ago.
He did get a bag.
He got one of them big rookie contracts. But he didn't play. He played a fine amount of games. 58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
has had some concerns from time to time. But he just is still young for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he does other than scoring all the time. Feels like his defense is there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah.
The short arms are kind of making it hard to.
Hey, but he can green some threes.
He is a tough shooter, and that's someone you love to have beside Ja Morant, obviously. Yeah. So he's one of those guys that, we don't know where he's projected to go. I just think he's at 10 because I think Bradley Beal, at the end of the day, we know who he is. We know what he can do. He had a disappointing season, and I'm not the biggest fan of the way he plays or his archetype, maybe. Yeah. But I think he still deserves to be respected as one of the best shooting guards in the league.
Yeah.
Getting paid $250 million.
Lot of money.
But anyways, he's at my number 9, Bradley Beal.
Interesting.
Yes, I had Bradley Beal at number 9, so not much different than you, obviously. Yeah. But who do you have at 9?
At number 9, I have DeJounte Murray.
Ooh, DeJounte Murray. That's another guy I didn't know where to put him.
Yep. And
go ahead.
Similar issue. It was coming down for that 10 spot, either him or Bradley Beal.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, a lot of people think that he had a disappointing year, which I would say as a whole,
the Hawks felt like did. It, yes.
But he did have a career year, at least in scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Took a step back, not being that lead ball handler. But what really gave him the edge over Bradley Beal, for me, was 1, he can play defense, and he plays defense good. And 2, he played 74 games last year.
He played
way more than I ever thought he played.
Games. No, yeah. I mean, he's a type of player that you would think is perfect to have right beside Trae Young.
Yeah.
He plays defense. He's long.
He can play off ball.
He's pretty good at scoring. I mean, he's a consistent 20 points per game.
Yep.
Like, he was one of those players that he's not dropping 30 this night and 10 the other night.
Yeah.
He's quite literally dropping 19 to 22 points every single night.
And at least 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yes, and he has the versatility of he gets boards, he gets assists, he gets the steals. I mean, he got a few blocks. He's a 5x5 type of guy.
Yes, he is.
Which is pretty surprising for a guy who's maybe 6'5".
Yep, 6'5".
So I really like DeJounte Murray as well. In fact, I have him at my number 8.
Interesting.
I put him pretty high.
A lot higher than I thought you were going to.
Yes, and the reason I have him at number 8 is because I kind of wanted to draft my list in terms of players that not only I like, but in terms of if I'm a GM, who am I going to get?
Yeah, and that makes sense with Murray.
Personally, at this point, take out contractual reasons, obviously, I would draft DeJounte Murray over Beal.
Yeah.
Like, if I was the Suns, for example, who just traded for Beal, I would rather have DeJounte Murray on that team.
Yep, and
I
agree with that one 100%.
He's a guy who is two-way, definition of two-way, has great defense. He's got the Spurs in him still.
Yes.
He can be a consistent scorer for you. He can facilitate from time to time. He's just a guy that I would much rather have on my team beside my star than Bradley Beal.
I agree with that one. And at my number 8, I have Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane. So we just have 8 through 10 just all mixed up.
And for a similar reason that you said, he can shoot, he can score. He's an okay defender. But what I like so much about him and what puts him above Murray and Bradley Beal is that he has a role and he fills that role to perfection on the Grizzlies.
Absolutely.
He does exactly what they want him to do every single night.
And how old is he? 23?
22, 23.
He's still really young.
Very young.
I guess he's going into his 4th year since he got the extension. So, a long way to go.
Yeah,
I think
and
with him,
there's still
you're probably drafting him in terms of like potential.
Yeah, there's still a lot more that he could reach.
Yeah, I agree. Now, at number 7, who do you have, Ryan?
I have my favorite player to watch in the NBA, Mikal Bridges.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mikal Bridges.
I as well have number 7, Mikal Bridges.
Let's go.
And here's the thing. He's a dude that, in terms of favoritism, he's number 2 or 3 on this list.
If we were picking out of everyone in the NBA right now, he's my top 5 favorite player to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely a top 5. And he's definitely a dude that I would love on my team.
Yep. He is one of the perfect basketball players.
Extremely surprising that the Suns traded him in the Durant trade over Ayton.
Yeah.
Because he fits a championship team more than Ayton.
Yes, he does.
And Bridges showed this year that he can really play as the 1 or 2 option on a team.
Yep.
I mean, he's not going to carry a team to the finals, obviously, but as at least the number 2 option.
Yeah, he's a piece. He's
really
a big
good scorer.
piece. Yep. And after being traded to the Nets, his scoring went up from 20 to 26.
Exactly. I mean,
with still
so
great
good.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Great defense.
It wasn't like he was a shot chucker.
Yep. And even closer, like in terms of in the playoffs, he didn't shoot the best, but he finally started passing it. And he's shown that he has playmaking abilities.
I believe like earlier in the season, Devin Booker had some injury issues.
Yeah.
And Mikal Bridges really stepped up in those times and impressed everyone because he showed that he can score for a team. He kind of facilitate while also being a 3-and-D wing, basically.
Guarding the best player each night. The best offensive player, he's guarding it.
He guards the best offensive player. He shoots the 3. And he can get his own shot. I mean, that's like, you get your 3-and-D wing plus more. That's such a steal with Mikal Bridges. So I love having him on this list. I'm glad that he has shot up so high in these past few years.
I am so happy about it.
I'm glad to see that he may have a future where he gets in the top 5 of this list.
Yep. But maybe next year. But Rocky,
number 6.
Who is your number 6?
I dropped a guy.
Yeah.
A little far. And I may have to make an argument for it. I have Kyrie Irving at number 6.
Interesting. Can I tell you who I have?
Please.
My introduction. Playoff P. Podcast P.
No.
Paul George at number 6.
We have resident Paul George hater across the table from me.
Hey, we have a Kyrie hater over here.
I mean, there's a lot of Kyrie haters.
There's a lot of Paul George haters. That bubble year. Bubble year.
Okay, yeah.
Breaking on the side of the backboard.
Well, we're not grading by last season, obviously. We're grading by this season where he wasn't in the playoffs.
Very true. I have no hate towards Paul George. Also one of my favorite players to watch.
Like best archetype of
that
player.
style of player is just so fun to watch. I think he had a good season.
Definitely.
But for the past 3 or 4 years, it's just been the health concern with him.
Yeah.
And if he could get healthy, top, very close to the top of the list, maybe the best.
For sure. I mean,
but
probably 4, 3.
But he just hasn't been able to stay consistently healthy.
He's definitely been stagnant.
Yep.
I think that's fair to say. I think that's true of just the whole Clippers team.
Yes.
They've just been so stagnant because of injuries. But I have a dude who's also very unreliable.
Yep.
With Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's such a difficult player because if you grade him in terms of the on-court stuff, such a good player that you want in your team.
Yep.
Grade him in terms of off the court, it's a little tough.
Yeah.
You know? You never know what Kyrie Irving is going to do. I mean, all of a sudden, Kyrie Irving is requesting a trade from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
No one saw it coming. For all we know,
us Celtics fans did see it coming. Kyrie is a...
That is true. But that was even a surprising moment, too, when he left Boston.
He just can't decide what he wants.
Definitely not.
Commitment issues to the max.
And he played 60 games
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, a lot of these guys on the list, they're probably ranging from 55 to 65.
Yep.
And then you have like the few good players who are there for like 73 to 80 games.
Not many.
By the way, we forgot to mention Mikal Bridges.
Yes, I meant to mention that. 83 games.
Is that? Yeah, that's correct.
83 games. He played one extra with the Suns before he got traded to Brooklyn.
History in the making.
That is crazy. It was history when it was going on. They were posting it everywhere.
But let's not get distracted anymore.
Sorry.
The reason I have Kyrie at number 6 is because he's unreliable off the court.
Yep.
You never know what he's going to do. But also on the court, he's a dominant scorer, and he's a dude you love to have on your team. But he's a defensive liability.
Yep.
He's small.
Yep.
He's like 6'1" maybe. He's never shown that he can be a excellent facilitator.
Yep.
He averages about 5 assists per game, which a lot of these shooting guards do. But he's a dude who's supposed to be a point guard. You know, he was seen in this league as a point guard.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, he's turned into a shooting guard because he can facilitate. He keeps having to be paired with these guys who can actually provide for their team. So all he does is average points. And granted, 27 points per game is pretty good.
Yep.
Definitely higher than maybe the guys on my list. But what else is he bringing you? He's a defensive liability, especially at the 2 when you get, guys who are a little bit taller.
You want me to tell you what he's bringing you? He's bringing you a ring. If you're a Cleveland fan, he brought you a ring. Kyrie.
Ryan?
Yep.
He didn't bring you a ring.
Hey, he didn't bring me a ring. But this dude is so fun to watch on the court. Out of everyone on this list, he's the most decorated, I would say.
Yes. In a weird way, these shooting guards aren't decorated in the slightest bit.
Yep. Him and Paul George are probably the 2 biggest.
Yeah, looking at my list, I don't see a single championship. That's kind of crazy.
Except Kyrie.
Yeah, I think Kyrie.
But a lot of the list is really young guys kind of coming in. And
that is true.
Knocking off a lot of the older guys.
Why are we hating on the dude who's just been there, done that? Except for the years he didn't do that. Why are you hating on Paul George?
No, like I said in the beginning, I have no issues with Paul George. I love Paul George as a player. But Kyrie's a better shooting guard than Paul George. But
I disagree.
Let's move on with the list.
Number 5. I have the man, the myth, the legend, future MVP, Anthony Edwards.
And finally, we can agree. I also have Ant-Man at number 5.
Yes, sir. Agree on something.
I also love Anthony Edwards. He is a joy to watch.
Anthony Edwards is a player that I think in a couple years he's going to be one of the best players in the league.
I think the coolest thing about Anthony Edwards is just his mindset.
Oh, yeah.
The way he acts, the way he carries himself on and off the court is so fun and entertaining to watch.
Definitely. In terms of like these young guys who just have it in them, he definitely has it. The first thing I think of, obviously, is in the playoffs, he kicks it up a notch.
Yep.
Massively.
Yes, he does.
You had a Timberwolves team who had a terrible season, big disappointment with the Rudy Gobert trade.
Yep.
In the play-in, they have the Kyle Anderson, Rudy Gobert fight. All morale is lost. They go against the future NBA champions in the Nuggets. But you know who didn't give up? Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
And solely because of that, I wanted to put him in my top 3 so bad. Dude, I just love Anthony Edwards.
I was trying really, really hard to get him in that top 3.
Just couldn't quite get it. But he's got such a long way to go.
Yeah, and he's so young. But that top 3, for me, it's pretty locked. Yeah. It's gonna be fun watching these other young guys trying to break into the top 3.
Fight their way up to the top.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now I know where we're going here. We did a little flip flop. At number 4, I have Kyrie Irving,
and I have Paul George.
And I can respect both sides.
Yeah, honestly, I think the players are in a weird way interchangeable.
Yeah.
The only reason I rank Paul George higher is because, again, I think Paul George is the perfect archetype for a player. A 6'6", 6'7" wing who can make his own shot, who can play defense, all this and all that. Such a just a really good player mold. Obviously, has his injury concerns, all this, but he's another embodiment of two-way.
Yep.
And I love that.
And you want to know why I've got Kyrie here?
Why you got Kyrie up here, buddy?
Because he believes the earth is flat. And I love Kyrie. Man's on TikTok, Instagram, spilling some knowledge. Won a championship. 27 points this year. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. It's beautiful. He's a beautiful basketball player. Out of everyone on this list, I'm paying money to watch Kyrie with the ball.
One of those reasons weren't in the same category.
What?
The flat earth.
No, I mean, it's the same thing. He just speaks his mind, and he's open, and he's honest.
He does speak his mind.
And I love it. True. I love it about him. He may be annoying sometimes, but the dude can play basketball with the best of them.
The man is wiser than us.
Yeah.
Beyond.
We don't even know what he's thinking.
But yeah. He's just meditating on Instagram Live, talking about.
Hey, keep your peace.
Talking about KD. I had a dream.
I had a dream that I was you. I was you in a different life, bro.
And KD is just sitting there like, bro.
KD. That's when KD knew he was requesting out of Brooklyn.
KD was like, this is why Harden left. But anyways, let's break down our top 3.
Top 3.
Number 3, I have. You're gonna hate it.
Yep, I already know it.
Brown.
And at number 3, I have Donovan Mitchell,
which is insane that you have at number 3 a 30-point per game scorer.
Well, I'm gonna kind of pull a U here.
Oh no!
And go back to the argument. Jaylen Brown is a two-way player.
Don't be using my.
He is 6'7", can score from anywhere on the floor. Defends, he can score anywhere on the floor. Might not be the greatest dribbler, because I see it in your eyes, it's coming. But he plays it both. He plays both ends. He's aggressive. He's perfect for what he is.
Listen, my guy can dribble. That's all I can say.
But no, my guy could dribble at 4.
Okay, but anyways, Jaylen Brown falls to number 3 for me. The only reason is, listen, all 3 of these guys, let's just admit, they are all superstars probably.
And I feel like they could be moved around, and I wouldn't be too upset.
Yeah, I think number 1 stays number 1, and we're going to agree on that. But in terms of 2 and 3, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, can you already say you have?
Yeah, at number 1, Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is obviously number 1.
Just took it up a notch in the playoffs. Had a great year.
In one of the best. It's weird because Jimmy Butler also had a great playoff run.
Yeah,
but only in the first round, really. After the first round, he kind of fell off.
But
Devin Booker also had such a dominant role, MJ-like. And it sucks because they lost, so I guess it's not MJ-like. But he was trying his hardest to stay alive.
He was doing everything in those playoffs.
And at the end of the day, he probably was the best player against the Nuggets in the entire playoffs.
Yep. And honestly, his playoff performance has solidified him as being the best shooting guard. And I think it's going to take some work for somebody to take that from him.
You have a guy, I have it here, jumped up 6 points in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Jumped up to 2 more assists.
Yeah.
So you jump from 5 to 7. His steals went up 0.7. Even his blocks went up 0.5. I mean, every single stat category went up in the playoffs.
Yep, he locked in the playoffs.
Small or large, he went way better in the playoffs. And that's what you want in a guy.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why you have Donovan Mitchell, who obviously had the most points on this list in the regular season, at around 30, 31. He fell off in the playoffs. He for some reason, disappointed.
Which normally isn't him. I was very surprised about that in the playoffs. Normally he turns it up.
If I remember correctly, I think he had a bad playoffs last year too in Utah. So I think some people were considering maybe it was a bubble fluke. Because that was the only year he really dominated.
No, his rookie year, he cooked OKC.
He did cook, and he definitely surprised a lot of people. But the only year he was playoff Donovan Mitchell, that was
yeah, that's fair.
The bubble year. But anyways, Devin Booker gets all the praise.
Yeah.
One of my favorite players in the league.
He's fun to watch.
One of the most fun players to play in 2K. Just saying.
That is true.
Giving you a little tip out there. But there's really not much to say about it.
That's it.
Future champion. Future MVP. D-Book.
I think Brown's got it before D-Book's got it.
Hey, You're just mad because you dropped 70 on the Celtics.
And lost the game. Folks.
That was a regular season game.
Lost the game.
Anyway, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. But we're out. Later, guys.
Adios.
I forgot to click stop recording.